The iron gates of Redstone Women's Correctional Facility groaned as they closed each morning, sealing hundreds of women inside. Concrete walls, cold floors, echoing footsteps. This prison had its own heartbeat. But inside cell block C lived a woman who didn't belong there at all. Her name was Aaliyah Brooks, 28 years old, calm, soft-spoken, and kind. She had been accused of a robbery she never committed. Her fingerprints were found on a stolen wallet that she had only picked up from the street to return to the nearest shop. No one believed her. Her public defender barely tried. And the judge, influenced by a biased system, sentenced her to 6 years. Aaliyah accepted her fate with quiet strength, telling herself every night, "Truth may sleep, but it never dies." But surviving inside Redstone was not easy. The cruel officer, Officer Karen Doyle, a strict white woman in her late 40s, ruled Block C like a dictator. She didn't like Aaliyah, not because Aaliyah misbehaved, not because she caused trouble, but simply because she was a black woman who dared to stay dignified. Karen hated dignity. She preferred fear. Whenever she passed Aaliyah's cell, she would make a comment. "Trying to act innocent, huh? Look at me when I talk to you. People like you always end up here." Aaliyah never fought back. She lowered her eyes, breathed slowly, and whispered to herself, "One day, I will walk out free." A new officer arrives. On a cold Monday morning, a new guard walked into the prison. His uniform was crisp, his posture straight, his smile warm. He was Officer Daniel Carter, 26, recently transferred from another facility. Most officers greeted him with a handshake. Karen, however, simply narrowed her eyes and said, "You're in Block C today. Let's see if you can handle real inmates." Daniel didn't respond to her attitude. He simply nodded and started his rounds. As he walked by Aaliyah's cell, he paused. She was sitting on her bed, reading an old, borrowed book. Her posture peaceful, her face tired but gentle. He checked the name on the door. Aaliyah Brooks, sentence, 6 years. "You okay in there?" he asked softly. Aaliyah lifted her face. She expected harshness. Instead, she saw kindness. "Yes, officer. I'm fine. If you need anything, I'm on duty today," Daniel added. Aaliyah gave a small, surprised smile. "Thank you." It was the first time in months someone had spoken to her like she mattered. The first act of kindness. Later that day, Daniel noticed Aaliyah in the cafeteria. She was standing alone while others whispered about her. Karen slammed a tray on the counter and said loudly, "You again? Move faster. Don't waste my time." Aaliyah flinched. Daniel stepped forward immediately. "Officer Doyle," he said politely, "I'll take over the serving line." Karen shot him a sharp, suspicious look. "She's manipulating you. You're too new to see it." "No, ma'am. I know what I'm doing." Karen snorted and walked away. Daniel handed Aaliyah a tray gently. "You don't deserve to be spoken to like that." Aaliyah swallowed a lump in her throat. "Thank you. Nobody here ever defends me." He smiled. "That changes now." Growing friendship. Over the weeks, Daniel started noticing everything. Aaliyah always helped new inmates adjust. She never raised her voice. She shared her food. She stopped fights. She apologized even when she wasn't wrong. He couldn't understand why someone like her was in prison. One day he asked, "Aaliyah, may I ask what you did? Why you're here?" Her eyes softened with pain. "I didn't do anything, Daniel." But the court didn't care. They just saw me. Daniel's heart tightened. "Then I promise you," he whispered, "one day, I will help you find justice." Aaliyah looked away quickly, hiding tears. No one had promised her anything in years. The jealous officer. Officer Karen noticed Daniel's kindness toward Aaliyah, and she hated it. She cornered him one morning in the hallway. "You're getting too close to that inmate," she snapped. "She's dangerous." Daniel calmly replied, "She's not dangerous. She's human." Karen's face turned red. "This is a prison, Carter, not a playground. You treat these people like animals or they walk over you." Daniel stared at her, shocked by her words. "Maybe the problem is that you forgot they're human," he said quietly, then walked away. Karen clenched her fists. "This isn't over," she muttered. "Love begins to grow." Even though Aaliyah tried to hide it, she began to feel something for Daniel. Something warm, something forbidden. And Daniel? Every time he passed her cell, his heart raced. They never crossed boundaries. No touching, no confessions, just conversations. Deep, honest conversations. Daniel told her about his family, his childhood, his love for justice. Aaliyah shared her dreams. To become a nurse, to care for people, to live a life of dignity. "I wish the world saw you the way I do," Daniel told her gently one evening. Aaliyah looked at him through the bars. "Maybe you see me with kinder eyes." "No," he whispered. "I see you with truthful eyes." For the first time in her prison life, Aaliyah felt hope. The turning point. One night, a violent fight broke out between two inmates. It spread across the block. Karen lost control. Daniel rushed in, pulling women apart, guiding others to safety. Suddenly, one inmate swung a metal tray at Daniel's head. Before it could hit him, Aaliyah jumped forward and shielded him. The tray smashed against her back. Daniel caught her before she fell. "Aaliyah, are you okay?" She winced but nodded. "You saved me." She looked into his eyes. "You would have done the same." He held her shoulders. Their souls felt inches apart. Karen saw the moment, and her face twisted with rage. Karen's evil plan. The next morning, Karen called the warden. "I caught them," she lied. "They're having an inappropriate relationship." Daniel was suspended pending investigation. Aaliyah was put in solitary confinement. For the first time, she broke down. Not because of the dark cell, not because of cold concrete, but because Daniel was gone. She whispered into the silence, "Please, don't let this be the end." Daniel fights back. Daniel, even while suspended, refused to give up. He hired a lawyer. He dug into Aaliyah's case. He found the real thief, a man with multiple prior charges, whose fingerprints matched everything except the wallet. Daniel sent the evidence to the judge with a written request. "Please reopen the case of Aaliyah Brooks. She is innocent." Meanwhile, Karen was exposed for making false reports. Her previous complaints were investigated. Her career collapsed. Justice had finally woken up. Freedom. After 3 painful weeks, the new court decision came. The judge dismissed all charges. Aaliyah Brooks was innocent. Daniel rushed to the prison gates. When the doors opened and Aaliyah stepped out, wearing the clothes she had been arrested in, she froze. Daniel stood there, arms open, eyes filled with emotion. "You kept your promise," she whispered. "I always will," he replied. She walked into his arms, a hug full of relief, love, freedom, and healing. A new beginning. Daniel helped her settle outside. He took her to a support home, helped her find therapy, stood by her through job applications. Aaliyah trained as a nursing assistant. Daniel stayed close, patiently, respectfully. One evening, after months of healing, she stood before him with trembling hands. "Daniel, can I say something?" He stepped closer. "I love you," she whispered. Daniel smiled softly. "I've loved you since the day I first saw you sitting in that cell." Their lips met in a gentle, deep kiss, not born from prison walls, but from freedom. Epilogue: A love beyond bars. Years later, Aaliyah and Daniel bought a small home together. Aaliyah worked at a children's clinic. Daniel became a prison reform advocate. Sometimes Aaliyah still looked at her scars, the memories of prison. But Daniel would hold her hands and say, "You were always free, Aaliyah. You just needed someone to open the door." And she would reply, "You opened much more than that. You opened my heart." Their love, born in the darkest place, became a light that never died.